Good afternoon, everyone. Especially swearing. I'll be conducting a class about identifying topographic symbols on a military map. The overall risk level assessment is low here. Make sure if it's raining outside, wipe your boots outside of the classroom so you won't trip and fall here. In case of an active shooter, we have 2 windows out in the back for evacuations. Also, we have an evacuation plan next to the door. Dehydration is also important, so make sure you keep drinking water. It's really hot outside. Our task is identifying topographic symbols. Condition: you are a member of a squad or team in a field environment and have been given a 1/50,000 scale military map and a requirement to identify topographic symbols on the map. Standard: identify the basic colors, topographic symbols, and marginal information on a military map. Make sure before I start you sign in the roster sheet. It's already passing around, so at the end of the class I'll be collecting it. If you have any questions, make sure you stop me and ask. There's 6 basic colors on a military map. This is a red light readable map, and it says on the bottom. We have black, blue, brown, green, red, and red-brown. The 6 basic colors of the map. Got black, indicates cultural man-made features such as buildings, roads, survey spot, elevations, and labels. Most of your labels are going to be in black, so you can see it. We got blue, which identifies hydrography or water features such as lakes, swamps, rivers, and drainage. There is also our third one is green. It identifies vegetation with military significance such as woods, orchard, and vineyards. We have brown. Brown basically shows all the elevations and relief features such as contours on older edition maps and cultivated land on red light readable maps, which is this map. Red classifies cultural features such as populated area, main roads, and boundaries on older maps. Red-brown, these colors are combined to identify cultural features, all relief features, non-surveyed spot elevations, and elevation such as contour lines on red light readable maps. Also note that other colors may be used to show special information, and these are indicated in the marginal information as a rule down in the legend right here. Our next step will be identifying symbols on a military map. I'll be passing out those maps and also pencils for you to follow along. While you guys were opening your maps, I already drew a couple of symbols that are important in legend. I'll be going over the legend. It's going to be to the far left bottom corner of the map. You can follow along with your maps. The first part is roads. There's different kind of roads, and it kind of explains the difference. Divided highway with median, primary, secondary, fair, and tract or trail. There's going to be route markers and what kind of routes, interstate, national. There's also railroads. Railroads, and they kind of explain to you what kind of railroads to normal gauge or single track, double track. Also bridges, and if they're road bridges or railroad bridges. There's also boundaries, state, territory, county, or parish. It explains the difference on the legend as well. Also there's other culture features on the map, such as buildings and schools and churches, which I already drew. Buildings are going to be like a square, black square. School is a black square with a flag on top. Then a church is going to be a black square with a cross on top. There's hospitals. Hospital are designated with a circle and a basically a medic cross in the middle. And heliports on top of the hospitals are going to be circled with an H, Hector, for hotel for the helicopters. There's mines and water points. Also, obstructions. There's single obstructions, and there's different kind of obstructions that the legend will go over as well. Relief, and then there's drainage, which are identified as blue lines, and it kind of explains what kind of drainage. Streams, lakes, rivers, what kind of lakes and rivers, and marsh and swamps. Vegetation, as we said before, they are green. So there's orchard, scrub, and forest, and it shows you the difference between the three on the legend. The military legend side, it explains the ammunition, containment area, which is the garrison area, drop zone, firing range, impact area, the impact area non-leaded, the impact buffer area, restricted area, the overall training area, which is basically most of first tour. It's in green. So, there's training site, there's endless exchange point, which is important for a lot of medics, is a dot with AXP. There's beach landing site, firing point, and garrison boundary gate. There's observation point, there's tank crossing, training site, and urban operations site. And at this time, I want you to look at your legends and try to identify a church or a building on the map. We're locating the buildings from the previous lesson. I already labeled this map and I'll be explaining what each number means. The next instruction is going to be about the marginal information on the military map. I'll start with number 1, which is over here. It's going to be the sheet name. Number 2, the sheet number. Number 3 is that series name. It's going to be up here. Number 4 is going to be right here. It's going to be a scale. Number 5, the series number. Number 6 is the edition number. It's going to be next to number 5. Number 7 is the boundaries. The index boundaries shows what is around that map. Number 8 is the adjoining sheets diagram. It tells you what other maps you need to, the numbers of the other maps that are adjoining this map. Number 9 is the elevation guide. Number 10 is the declination diagram. It'll be right here. Number 11 is the bar scale. It's next to basically the scale. Number 12 is the contour interval node. So basically number 12 to number 20 is going to be right here, all combined. Number 21 is the grid reference box. It's going to be below the nodes. Number 22 is that identify the unit imprint and symbol. Number 22 is right here. It explains who prepared the map, what unit. Number 23 is the legend, which we went over the previous class. Right here. So now, I showed y'all where all the marginal information on the map. I want you guys to go ahead and start labeling your maps through those numbers, and I'll be assessing y'all on identifying those numbers. At this time, I've collected everyone's maps, and as I assessed everyone's answers, I reviewed performance measures, I observed each soldier's performance, I went around and answered any questions y'all had, recorded the results, and determined that our task proficiency is trained, and we don't need no retrain, and everyone's good. And I'll pick up all the gear and equipment that I've handed out. AAR, what was supposed to happen? We successfully identified basic colors, topography symbols, and marginal information on the military map. What actually happened, we trained the soldiers and evaluated them on identifying the symbols on the map. What went right? What went wrong? Do you guys have any improvements? So that concludes it. Make sure y'all police your area, clean up around you, and I'll be finally inspecting the classroom before we leave. And that concludes my training.